huge sign of mine is cats, our cats. And look at this little cutie. I've never seen him before.
Essentials, y'all. I got him. Got him. From Sev. Got him. Wow, today I had to go on that walk because I just felt so incredibly overwhelmed, but not in a bad way at all. I just feel like there's just massive shifts actually happening because I'm just embodying the sureness of everything, the just inner knowing that everything is completely okay and that I am completely okay. And whenever I feel like things are starting to go out of my control, I just keep saying what's meant for me will never miss me. I'm always trying to prioritize my grounding now. I'm breathing so hard because this balance that I've learned to come into, not easy, but now that I'm here, I'm just like, oh my gosh, I'm gonna do whatever it takes to maintain this. I know that things happen. I'm just going with the flow now. I'm really going with the flow. When things don't go my way, I'm like, all right, it's not meant to, blah, blah, blah. And then I do other things. And I'm just like, if I have these inner desires where I feel like I miss anything, it's just, I'm putting it towards that resonates with an old past version of me that I still maybe am holding on to, because the vision I have for myself is just so clear now. And so I had a talk with a PR agency. They had reached out to me on Twitter to set up an interview, and I am not personally seeking out PR opportunities at this time, in terms of finding an agency for it. My goal is to, yes, collab, partner with brands that are very, with my values and virtues and mission and all of that, for sure, 100%. But I have learned how to market myself, and I know it's not at the pace as what a PR can do, but I'm just but I'll get there though. So that's why I don't approach PR. But because they approached me, I was like, okay, I'm just gonna take this opportunity as just listening to them. So I had the meeting today. The guy asked me if I knew anything about their company, and to be honest, I didn't search them up so heavily because, again, I'm not searching for a PR opportunity in terms of paying someone to do PR for me. I'm gonna do that myself. I'm pretty resourceful. I learn really quick, and what I'm doing right now, I find it serving me for the ability that I have, but I'm not looking to pay for help like that. So anyways, because I didn't search the company, I just felt a little bit unprepared, but I want to relay I didn't approach this, but then just him talking about public relations in general and what they offer, what his company specifically offers. They operate out of Canada too, so it's really nice to know of the Canadian market. It's good to know the pricing too, because he told me the price that clients pay to have this type of service. And to me, as much as I understand the value of the work that they do, for me, it's not suitable because it's just I might as well just do it myself. I know I'm not putting my names out into the same publications that they are, but right now I'm just that's just not something that's fitting for me at all. Because if I'm struggling to prioritize paying for groceries or paying for weed for my sanity, I'm not gonna go for a PR thing right now. So yes, maybe in the future. But what that conversation really got out of me was, he was so what are your platforms about? What do you want people to know about you? And I was just man, this is my opportunity, because this morning I could not stop daydreaming about this one thing that just I can see for myself, see myself doing. And I'm not gonna share what I had the thought of on a grander scale, but ultimately I know what I want to do, and it's literally what I'm doing right now. So I want to hold spaces for people to kind of engage and learn about my experiences through utilizing astrology, utilizing spirituality, my sexuality, all of those different energies, and utilizing to bring me where I am today. Because that, I am a huge testimony in those things itself. There can be no way at this point where someone's that stuff isn't real. You can't use that stuff for those things. What are you talking about? You're super delusional. You're just, But for me, I'm just well, it worked for me. It just simply worked for me. So either you're with it or against it, you want to learn about it, or you stay ignorant towards it. Like either way, I'm thriving using these tools, and I want to show people how to use it too, because it's not just that like women or who identify as women can only use their sexuality. Men have that opportunity too. So I really want to be in these spaces of healing of all types of areas, because healing's so expansive. But I feel like with with the lifetimes I've lived in this one life, I'm like, fuck, I can really like help people through limiting beliefs and their blockages, because I feel like I've uncovered so much of mine in so many different areas of my life. Like before homelessness, I was going into spirituality, like between like my abortion and my grandpa's death of like, when was it, August 2022, from then till my homeless journey in July 2022. Okay, August 2021 and July 2022. Between that time, I was pretty focused on learning about my spirituality, like knowing how it could guide me, knowing how to be in touch with myself, and knowing what that looked like. And for me in the beginning, I focused heavily on shadow work, and I really take in shadow work every time I learn my lessons. Like I am aware of when I'm doing it. Like shadow work is just reparenting, going down into your ego, finding all that shadow, shameful stuff about you and accepting it, working with it, not trying to deplete it, but work with it. And that's something I can help other people do. And then in my homeless journey, I was learning how to incorporate astrology, because being out homeless, I had no idea what my day looked like at all, ever. I had no type of guidance. I had no one trying to talk to me. I was so by myself. And at this point, I was doubting my spirituality. I was like, why am I out here? Like, if I followed what I thought was my calling this whole time, why am I out here? And because I had so much time on my hands, and because I was getting like all these other intels from my spirit family, I was starting to, and a little bit right before my homeless journey, I was starting to dive into astrology, like learning about it, and not just going off of what people hear about, like, oh, this sign does that, this sign is like that. No, I truly wanted to know, what is each archetype? What do they mean? What does this mean? What does birth houses mean? What does like your whole birth chart mean? I've learned all of that, and then in between using that, I realized a pattern of my life, and I was just like, oh my gosh, this is uncovering this time of my life happened in this, and now it's correlating with the same time of this. And people can go off about how, oh, the stars don't dictate what you're doing the next day. Stop. It's a guide when you're lost, okay? It's a tool. It's in no way like, oh my gosh, the stars told you were gonna get Starbucks today. Who even, I just got no time for those type of people, you know? But if you're truly interested in the fact of like, okay, I'm lost, I don't have a direction, I'm down to try whatever, try astrology. Who knows? And I can help you with that again. And I'm still learning. Like, I'm a student at spirituality, astrology, and learning how to cultivate my sexuality into power, and using that as my creative outlet, and just like owning it instead of being shameful about sex and all that stuff, and shameful about like my inner being, all that. Like, I'm owning it, you know? And throughout learning about my sexuality, like, that's through celibacy. I feel like you cannot learn fully about your own sexuality, about your own love language, about your own love for yourself, if you don't take a minute to be celibate, and like consciously celibate. Not like, oh, I'm having a dry spell on Tinder for like a month, I'm celibate. No, like, you're consciously like, I'm not having sex. It's hard. It could be hard. I'm not gonna do it, because who does not respect me, who does not even try to get to know my mental space, my body space, who even really knows about sex, why would I want them to have sex with me? You know? So my self-worth increased heavily after my homeless journey, because my sexuality is something I focused on. Like, I traded in my bad habits of being on Tinder, Bumble, all of that shit for crocheting, and like just seeing that outlet of like where I'm putting all my attention towards. And like within 3 months, I made a huge ass queen size blanket. And imagine all the people that I didn't see, or that I could have seen during that time, and just really like, you know, like, and when you're on Tinder and stuff like that, you're in a mode of you're seeking, you know, like sometimes maybe things work out and stuff like that. But if you're putting yourselves on that type of site, you are seeking. That means what's for you will miss you, because what's for you you will receive it if you trust that it's the flow. But you know, personally for me, I already knew that like having Tinder and Bumble, it was an outlet for me because I was so lonely and I didn't know how to be with myself. I truly didn't like it at the time that I had Tinder and Bumble. I just felt like, oh, I needed this one thing because I'm bored, I want attention, and I'm just like, but I can fulfill that time doing the stuff I love instead of trying to find someone else to fill that entertainment space for me, you know? And in the end, we end up not seeing each other, not talking to each other. So what was that energy exchange for? You know, it feels like, you know, you're putting yourself into all these other outlets, you're gonna deplete yourself, you know? So bring all of that into yourself and see what happens. And you know, maybe I'm sounding like a little bit, oh, it's easier said than done, or I'm like so convinced like this is how I've always lived. But please, like, look through my past YouTube like videos and you will see my transgression on how I talked about anything. And I do have a very confident way of approaching subjects, and that's because I have a Leo Mercury that can't be helped. I'm very confident in my delivery, even if I like, but whatever I say, it's because it's with full conviction and like integrity and how I truly like believe it. I won't say anything that I won't believe. If I don't have like as much knowledge on a subject and I'm trying to come off confident, I just sound dumb. And I've heard myself say it. So whenever I'm just not having enough knowledge of anything, I will openly be like, I don't know much about that other than that. This is my opinion on it though. And I just leave it at that. And then that gives me an opening to learn more about that subject or, you know, anything like that. So I just wanted to share that evidently I really want a bigger platform so I can really bring in people who are aligned with me, who want to have this type of change, who want to have like these type of limiting beliefs to be like taken out and stuff. And only if you're ready and only if you're prepared, because this is completely out of free will. I've been there in the past where I started learning about my spirituality and all this stuff, and I just wanted everyone in my environment to know about it and get into it. And that left me lonely. That left me like physically lonely too, because people are like, you're on some other shit. And I'm not ready for that type of thing. And for me, I was just like, why not? And it's because I truly thought with the things that they would say to me that they were on the same path as me. But you know, your discernment, when you take yourself out of the attachment of the relationships you have and you fully use your discernment, you can see who's lying, you can see who's like not being authentically themselves. Like, I truly wish I was around people who just actually said what they said, but I think they were like scared I would judge them. But that's on you, that's not on me. Like, why are you know, like, why would you think that then? Why would you think I'm judging you? That means you're judging you, because I'm just wanting a friend over here. Anyways, I got into a weird tangent and all of that, but I'm so excited, y'all. I'm just so excited about this revelation for myself, because I feel like I found my purpose for a long time, but to finally put it into words, to finally feel convinced this is actually something I want to do, because I did want to be a leader of some sort. I did want to be like leading through my experiences. I've always thought that like you lead by example type of thing. I've always done that for myself, because I'm just like, I'm not inspired by anyone who's around me. I just got to do it by myself and all of that. So that's how I think of leaders, as being great leaders. Like, they have to experience it first, or else how will you know? But now to say it in this way, to see myself in this light, and to really own that I want to be a spiritual leader in this sense, where you're owning your sexuality as well. Because I find that, you know, when you're beginning spirituality and all that, it is a great thing to take away your sexuality out. That's why like celibacy is there and all of that. Like, too much of anything is bad. That's why if you're watching too much porn, of course that's bad. Like, if you're not focusing on the self-love you can give yourself, but you're finding it externally through those kind of videos, and maybe they're like only performative videos, so you don't really know what's actually happening for the person or their body. Like, they're not being communicated with that. They're just like, oh yeah, fuck me, you know, like, that's not going to teach you anything about sex. But for me, like, I've had an OnlyFans for a couple years now. I've seen my progression through my own experience sexually, like what I feel like I deserve sexually. And like, when I started this spiritual stuff, I was still like, not in a sense, I was still giving my body away to people who honestly don't deserve it. And it's because I truly wasn't feeling like I was worthy enough to hold that sacred act for someone like special, for my true love. Like I was just like, I don't know how to respect my body in a sense. Like, sure, I'm working on my mind, sure, I'm working on my mental, but my body, I was just like, oh, because I'm already used to it. Lost my virginity at 14 to someone who like cheated on me soon after. And then it was just like, you know, afterwards, you're just like, my value of my body was so little. I was so objectified for so long. I didn't know what like proper, like a good relationship with my body felt like for a long time, until my celibacy, which was recent. So that came after like spirituality, and spirituality has like no step-by-step process towards anything. It's all through lived experiences. And the reason why I'm still having OnlyFans, and the reason why I want to like have that be the forefront, is because the way that I'm using my sacral chakra, the way that I'm using my sexual energy, is something I want to teach people. Because sexual energy is like not just good, not just bad. It's so neutral. You can use it for any avenue, but it's so strong. That's why sex is so powerful. And like, you know, and every time you have sex with other people, like you're sharing energy. Like if you're sexing someone who has like family trauma and all that stuff, and you're someone who hasn't experienced that, you're gonna carry that on. Like it's just energy. Be more conscious of who you're actually letting into your sacred space. I've learned that recently, you know? So let's learn together. Let's do all this together, and just let's fill our own cups so much that we want to fill other people's cups. Like this is where I'm at right now, and I feel that so heavily. Like I just have so much to share, to give, because of how much I'm giving to myself. And I'm just like, I'm gonna do something with all this. Really want to take a moment. My spirit family has been really trying to get me to, and like myself, to find balance and peace in this stagnancy period of mine. And it just started to drive me crazy, and I didn't want to hear it when my spirit family is just like, you're always on to the next thing. I get that a lot. Like I get those thoughts a lot, where it's like, try to keep yourself in the present, because I know I'm working towards greater, and because I'm like, I've been prone for so long in my life to just know that I just have to keep working towards something, like always, you know, that like crazy masculine energy, you know, in this patriarchal system. It was just so eye-opening. I was just sitting on the couch just now, and I was reflecting and writing in my journal, because I was like, okay, I did a lot today, and I really want to reflect on it. And at first I kept distracting myself still from reflecting. I was watching dramas, I was trying to do more work. Even though I did like work today, I just wanted to do more. And then I was like, just let me write about today, and not just like how I just felt. Like I want to write how I used to write in my journals, which was like writing what I did writing each thing that I did and how I felt about it. I used to write my journals like that. So I made myself do that just now, and it really something in me clicked where I was just like, I'm so happy right now. Like, I am so happy that I got to do everything I want to do today while I'm in this stagnancy period. Like, if I know I'm on to greater things and I'm going to have like a busier time soon, why not just enjoy this time? Because another thought I had while I was on my walk earlier was that I missed some parts of my homeless journey. Like, I was sitting with the geese at one point and I was cold, and I was like, man, I miss seeing the geese when I was homeless. Like, I would go to this one water view area every night before bed and just watch the birds and take a walk there and just be with the nature, just to ground myself, just because I felt so out of place and like unstable being homeless, right? So I was just like, okay, the one thing that's stable is just this walk. So I did it every day. And then yeah, so now I'm just here like, because I really started my day just flowing with my morning routine, meditating, stretching, journaling, reading, hair oils, just such a calm day. And then right after that, I got into my crocheting. I was just like, I really want to put like these characters on, cut my pants, started putting the crocheting pieces or the little pictures onto the crocheting top, and then just doing a little bit of that. And then right then next I wanted to paint my box, like put my white silhouette all over that, and make another YouTube on top of that to talk about my self-love journey, because that's how I was feeling during my paint. I was like, I really want to talk about this today. I also woke up feeling like crazy amounts of like love in my head, so I was like, there's so much love happening today. Also, it's Pisces new moon, so I'm like, feed my subconscious, it's subconscious time. So I also watched a video last night saying a really great way to manifest this Pisces new moon is to just be in your creative like mindset, like just be drawing, just be painting, just be writing, doing anything creative to set your tone for this new moon. And I did that all day today, like really embodying this energy. Because right after the painting, I went for a walk. I went for a walk for 45 minutes, came back, and what else? I took like content for a lot of my, I took content for all my social media platforms after that walk, and then continued to do some work, had time to watch like my drama. I did literally everything I want today, and not even in a way where I was like, oh, I feel like I should have done more in this area. No, like I just did enough of what I wanted to do of each thing. And now it's like 9 p.m. and I feel so accomplished. And I'm writing down in my journal too, I'm like, I am accomplished. I accomplished so much today. Wow. I didn't record anything yesterday. Honestly, I think partly because I forgot. I'm so used to like changing the way I'm making my new videos now that it kind of like captures like little clips of some things I do every day. So now I'm just like, oh, when it's like my weekly update, I'm like but I want to keep this honestly going for myself, because I truly like to see the differences of my every month since I've been doing this. So I do want to continue this. But yeah, I forgot yesterday. But yesterday being family day, I didn't expect too much. The weather was super nice. I was like, I'm gonna have like an inner child day because it was Monday and that's what I like to do. But then I got invited to go have dinner with someone I just met. So the bubble tea store that I frequent often, I actually made a connection there. The owner's sister was working the day that I was there, and I had been there for already like 3 hours, and she definitely noticed that. And then she came over to me. We just were casually talking at first, mentioning stuff about her work real quickly, and it is so awkward for me to talk about my work to others, because when I say OnlyFans, I just kind of want it to leave it just that. But then when they're like, what is that? I'm like, and then when I explain like the work that I do, which is just honestly expanding my social medias and just promoting myself within those, like it's just, that's kind of what I do as my working work. So that's what I just cap things at. So I just feel people just be like, that's it. But for me, I'm trying to get used to like not really caring what people are saying after I say those things, because for a long time I did hold like some kind of shame towards it because of how I used to work, which was super more like laborious, and like that's how everyone sees working now, like you have to like work to the bone type of thing. But for me now, I'm just like, no, I spend however much I want in a day promoting myself on my social medias. That's it. And but yeah, I got to talk to about that, and then we talked about my crocheting because I was crocheting when she came over, and then ended up talking about my hand, then ended up talking about my homeless journey. Like she kept asking more and more about things, and I just felt like I kept wanting to say more and more things too. Like there was so many parts of my story, because like I know my story is pretty there's a lot to it, and I don't like to have anything miss sometimes. So when I do have that space to really share my journey of last year and throughout the homeless journey in general, like it's something I want to like fully say, and she really gave me the space to do it. And I didn't cry during the whole time of explaining it. I only started to cry when she literally just looked at me and she's like, "You're really strong. You have gone through so much just in the time that you just shared that." And when people acknowledge the pains that I've gone through, instead of just being like, "Oh yeah, that sounds tough," instead of that, I really, really appreciate like, wow, that was a journey. Like I don't want any kind of pity, of course not. I just want to be recognized for like, that shit was hard. And when she did that, that's when the tears came, and I was just like, I can't. And she hugged me, and I literally, it's just so nice to cry into someone's arms, and they're just like caressing you, consoling you, saying like, it's okay, keep crying, keep crying. And I was just like, all right. And I just went at it, and she asked if she can pray for me and with me, and like by using like the name of God and stuff. And because I'm really open, I truly am open to like religions, I said yes, and I like really sat with it and embodied it. It was only until she started mentioning how like if there's any other voice that you have that isn't God, then it's the devil. And I was like, at first that made me want to like have that all or nothing mindset that I used to carry with people, and kind of be like, oh, this is just a really good exchange for today, like I don't want to keep this going. But we had already exchanged numbers before that happened, and I was like, okay, if she talks to me again, I'm not sure if I she asked me to like come back to the restaurant because she was working again the next day, but I was like, I think I might have to keep my distance, because I'm just not sure how I feel about that, because I really like having the comfort, but I really don't like people pushing their beliefs on me. And it seemed like she was going in that direction after like the whole devil thing, and especially after me mentioning what I do for work, she's like, maybe you should like stray away from that type of thing. And I was like, nope, I'm really happy doing what I'm doing. So yeah, I was just like, I don't know. But then when she messaged me on Monday, at first she called me, and I was just like really wary. I was like, oh, I don't really know how I feel. But then she texted me saying like, hi, today's family day. I know you don't really have family around you. I would love to be your family today. Dinner is on me. Meet me at the restaurant. And I was like, yes, 100% yes. And before I went on a nice walk to really like calm myself down. I was getting really anxious about it. And then when we first got together, I was still like on the defense, and just like and especially with like when we got to the restaurant where we were ordering food, she was trying to talk about the restaurant while we were in the restaurant, and then she was like really overriding everything I was saying. So I was just like, oh my gosh, like here goes like kind of another one of those energies where they don't really care about me kind of thing. But then when we got out of the restaurant and then it was just us, I asked about her birthday, and I figured out she was an Aries, and then something in me just switched where I was like, okay, Aries energy is just really and then I was like, okay, I really want to see how I can get to know her, because like the day that I was crying and all that, I only got to talk about me, which I was so happy with, to be honest, because honestly at the end of that, a part of me was like, should I ask about her? Like, but I was like, oh, I just really want to keep it to that. And she respected that. And then so this time when I was hanging out with her, I was like, I want to see how she like talks about her life and like all that, and I want to get to know her through that. And I'm so grateful I did that, because I got to know her like love story arc. She's like a she's single. She's 57, and she's like, I always get princess treatment in the only 3 relationships I've ever had. Like I know what I want, I know I deserve. And she's so like, she is a huge advocate for the church, but not just like church. It's more of like really empowering others and showing light to others. So that's what she's doing. Like, that's her mission, and I truly respect that, because I think that's where I found the common goal between us, is that that's what I want to. Like, I want to show light to others, I want to empower others, but I'm just approaching it at a different way, and I'm just respecting how she is. So before we hung out, I told myself out loud, I was like, we are not talking about spirituality, like my spirituality, we are not talking about my work. And not once did we talk about either of those things, and I really appreciated that. And yeah, so getting to know her through that, I was like, I really respect this. And then just the way she like really wants to like stay in my life too, like the reassurance that she's there for me. I was like, okay, I really can see us having a relationship. It doesn't have to be like everyday type of relationship, but I'm really glad that I met someone like her, because along with like figuring out someone's astrology, I like to see like how, like if they're living in their purpose based on their astrology type of thing. And I know it's more of like just the sun sign, but I really, just based on the sun sign, I like to see how the energy is formed. That way I feel like I can like mesh with different types of people and like conversations, because if I knew that she was like a Taurus, then I would kind of come at it more of like a softer approach. But when I was talking with her, knowing she was an Aries, I was just like, oh my god, that's so cool, really, tell me more. So I would add excitement to her thing, and like it was just matching energy, completely matching energy in terms of that. So I love that. I love that. I do not use astrology to be like, oh, you're like this. No way. I'm literally like, what's your sign? And then everything that I have that's formed already from that sign, because I only like to think of the positives, but I also recognize the shadow side of each sign, but I don't focus on that. But if it happens, I'm like, okay, that's the shadow side, you know? So then, yeah, it was just, I really love doing this, honestly. It's so cool. It's so cool. Today is going to be a really amazing day too. I'm not sure if I was going to work much. I woke up this morning a little bit stressed because I was like, I have so much that I want to freaking do. Like, brag, I want to like fit in crocheting today, but then I make myself write 2 things that I want to accomplish today, because like I'm trying to fit it in with like my rest, my routine, and some working. Today I'm not too sure if I'm actually gonna work, because I haven't taken a break from the start of the week yet, because yesterday I didn't take a break from work, only because throughout the weekend I didn't spend too much time on work. So I was like, Monday came around and I was like, oh, I kind of want to do a little bit of work today. But like I said from last week, I was like, I need to take a full day away from this. But a part of me is also like, what if I get everything I want done, rest, go for a walk, and then maybe around evening do like an hour? I'm gonna see how that goes today. But if I finish my walk and I'm like, don't go on my laptop to work, then I won't. So I'm really gonna see it, and I'm just gonna keep y'all updated. This is turning out to be a bit longer video, but honestly, when things happen and I really want to share my experience, I want to share my experience, because I want to reflect on this one day again too. Okay, so actually, okay, I was a little bit hard on myself last night because I was really disappointed with how this turned out, but then now I'm seeing it from this angle and I kind of love it. I know it's still a rough draft. I'm still definitely going to work on it. There's some details I definitely want to add, and like maybe because this lining part, I intentionally wanted to show it so it could be like under my boob like that. See, it still can do that. Maybe I just need to make this part longer. I need to find a way to make this part more cute, like this middle here. But honestly, like the triangle top part, I like it. I do like it. Because I was being hard on myself last night. That's why I didn't show this. And then I was even saying, I was like, oh, I don't want to work on it anymore. And I got really in my head. And then yesterday morning, I was like, what am I going to do with the rest of the yarn? And then I was pressuring myself so much on what to do with the rest of the yarn, because I know I want to also make a bag for when I like go on my walks and stuff. I want to have my journal. So I want to have like, I want to make a bag that's perfect size for my journal and phone or something. So, and I kind of want to have that bag have like a little holder to put my drinks in. I always think about this. Like I actually do. I'm just like, fuck. Because like when I go for walks and I end up with like a Starbucks or something, I like don't want to carry it because I like to swing my arms like, so I spill myself a lot. So then I want to put I love crocheting. Fuck. Here's the back part. See? Okay, the back part also needs to be more tight. Cute if the shirt was just together. Crochet rough draft part 1 top. And you know what? This is my first clothing item I've made. I've been really comfy with blankets, and blankets are easy because it's just row, finished. So yeah, I'm proud of myself. I actually like this so far. But I definitely want to make her more durable, long lasting. Maybe I might do another smaller waist thing. I don't know, I'll figure it out. But for now, I'm gonna give this a break and work on my blanket, and probably during that time, I'm gonna find inspiration for it. I'm gonna buy some new yarn today. Buy some new yarn and go to the crocheting hangout. So I'm really excited. I'm really excited. I don't even know what color I'm gonna get, but I have 3 minutes to decide because I'm doing the Uber ride where like I'm going to one stop and then another. So I have 3 minutes to decide. But I know it's gonna be a pastel color, and I already did purple. Green is on my mind heavily, but I'm really trying to be like, choose another color because I'm just so, but pastel green is really cute. We'll see. It's like sweet, savory, sour. Actually less sweet, but more sour. But it's good. And then it meshes with like the texture. The fish, really good. Masala fish. I like the masala flavor. That broke my heart. Oh, I really wish I had just like the abundance of money to also feed like homeless. I feel so like bad eating and they're just walking by, especially when it's snowing.
We're planning to be there next Saturday.
Oh, nice. At the jazz event?
Yeah.
Okay. See you guys there.
Yes. She's singing, I'm singing.
Feeling really triggered today, and after letting myself really feel out my emotions, because I kept crying after my TikTok live because I really chose to stay in a negative light after seeing a negative comment, and I just couldn't bounce back after that because like more comments that were just like feeding into that negative energy, I was just entertaining more than like the positive ones at one point, and I just got really disappointed because I started the live really positive and really happy. That's why I went on live, because when I'm feeling really good for no reason, and I'm doing something, I want to like just be on live. And I know I can't really help it or anything, but I just wish my like the audience that my lives would reach or whatever would be more for people who like, I don't know, I just feel like a big trigger for me, especially when it comes to communication and just being around other people, is the feeling of being misunderstood. Because I feel like I really try to understand the people I'm talking to, and especially before I say anything, I want to understand like something about them, you know? Yet I feel like for me, it's constantly being misunderstood, constantly being called aggressive when I'm standing up for myself, constantly being shamed for how fast my emotions can switch, like constantly just all this stuff, constantly saying I need to go see a therapist. It's just like, why is it so easy for people to talk like that? But then why am I still entertaining that? You know, like at the beginning of me being on social media, I was honestly blessed because for a while I really didn't receive any like negative comments. It was honestly when I became this, I started receiving hateful comments. And a lot of people didn't believe my homeless journey was real. A lot of people didn't believe that my accident was real. And I just chose to like respond to that during my homeless journey because I was just already so on the defense about being out there. And then just to have people be like, yeah, what you're going through is not real. I was just like, nobody is here seeing me go through this. And it's so easy for you to say. And throughout my homeless journey, I've learned to not care about what people are saying to me. And then when I moved here, I still entertained some hurtful comments, but at one point I truly like, and this happened like a couple weeks ago, I truly was just so fed up with like all the comments I get. Like now whenever I get like things that could trigger me, I just instantly block people right away. But I didn't do that today. And it like really got me into this spiral of like the miscommunication, misunderstanding thing. And now I'm just trying to get myself out of it. I'm like, I'm sad that I'm choosing to kind of hold on to this. But I'm also like forgiving myself for being hard on myself for processing this. Like, I don't know. Oh no, today's just really weird. But I didn't mean to end my video off on such a sad note, truly. I just wanted to, I guess, be real with what's happening with me, because I just truly don't want it to seem like now that things are slowly like making me feel more balanced, more all that I'm still not having days like this where I'm just a little bit falling short from strength for today. But I'm going to have a much better day and just a much better week. And this is not me trying to gaslight myself. It's just me truly understanding that this moment is going to pass. And I'm going to see more, if I have to see more like about why this trigger is like really affecting me for this long or anything like that. I think maybe it's because I really believed I worked through all my triggers. But you can't necessarily work through all your triggers. You only know if anything ever bothers you in that moment. And I guess I haven't been bothered about being misunderstood for a long time, but TikTok wasn't the only thing that happened today. Like with my mornings, that was gross. But with my mornings events and like just everything, I just like whenever I get into a spiral like this, I start fucking pulling like sadness from all the other times I felt sad, and that just doesn't do me any good. Like it really doesn't. And I'm really learning how to stop doing that, because like those things of the past, they don't affect me the way they do now. And if I'm thinking of them then, it's just because I'm just trying to amplify how I feel. And I don't know if it's because I'm trying to justify me being sad, when it's okay to be sad about just that one thing. I don't know. I think a part of it is me used to like bottling up things. So when I get sad about things and it doesn't feel like enough to be sad about, I just like compile more things to be sad about. So it justifies like my sadness. I think I just said that. But if y'all relate, I feel you. Like, it's not easy. I think it goes with the fact of being shamed for feeling emotional when you were younger. That's 100% what happened with me. Like, I was not allowed to show my emotions to anyone growing up except my grandpa. But with my grandpa, he would be like, oh, like, it's okay, don't cry, like trying to console like that. But with my grandma, it was just like, why are you crying? Don't cry, I didn't hurt you, I didn't hit you. And with my dad, forget it, couldn't cry around him. My mom had to almost be the hardest one to cry around, because she would literally be like, what did I do? I didn't do anything to you. Why are you crying? Why are you being like that? You're so sensitive. Like, it was just so, yeah. Oh, now I just uncovered why I'm holding on to it for so long. Just that memory there. Anyways, see you in the next week. I will be okay after this. This is not me gaslighting myself again. Just trying to mention that. I'm not trying to gaslight myself. I truly will feel this moment after I close the camera, and I will move through it, and I will have a great day still. Thank you so much for watching.